Hello everyone, Shani of Shani and Charlie here, coming to you guys with a quick video and applause. Yay! I finally finished George R.R. Martin's book 5, A Dance with Dragons. But in case you don't know, I feel like I shouldn't have to say it, but this video is going to be full of spoilers. Duh. You know, and this book was so much better than A Feast with Crows. If you saw my Feast for Crows video, you know that I did not care for that book at all. I think I gave it a 2 out of 5. I think this one I would give it a 4 out of 5, and that's kind of, I really want to give it a 3.5 out of 5, but because it has some of my favorite characters and it has some amazing moments that actually, you know, that I cared about and that actually made me cry, I give it a 4 out of 5 because it was very well written. Not that A Feast with, well, if you want to know how I feel about A Feast for Crows, then the link to that video will be in the description box. Yes. But these books actually run parallel together. These books actually end up running parallel. So when I finished A Feast with Crows and I started Dance with Dragons, there were certain chapters I was like, it's going backwards. We've already, they don't know such and such and such and such, and it's like, we've already been through this. But what happens is it feels like you're going backwards because you're getting some of the same events from a different character's point of view. Or you're getting some things that are happening leading up to an event that happened in A Feast for Crows. So I think when I realized that the story started to really progress was Arya and Jaime's story point of views. They kind of like, okay, the story's moving forward now. Finishing up this, I had a plan. I'm a show watcher first. I watched the show before I read the books. And when I finished up with season 7, I was like, you know what? It's going to be a whole year it's going to be over a year before season 8 comes out. So I'll just use this time to read the books. And Winds of Winter will be out in 2018. So by the time I get finished reading, you know, the books, then Winds of Winter will be here or close to being here. Dun dun dun. Psych. Found out a few weeks ago that Winds of Winter will not be released this year. He's releasing Fire and Blood, which is a Targaryen history book that no one asked for, which I know I didn't ask for. But yeah, so I have to wait. So it's bittersweet. So I'm probably going to go back and start back with Game of Thrones and read the books again so I can do some reviews on those and some predictions and just get, you know, refreshed on the whole story, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot that I've forgotten about. Let's see. I guess I will talk about what I liked about the books more than what I disliked from the books. What I really like about the books is there were the characters that I cared about and storylines that I cared about were back. You know, they were back. Point of views that I really look forward to hearing and seeing, they're back. And the only thing is that this book is all the books are amazingly written. It's amazingly written, and I kind of, watching this show first, kind of messed a lot of things up. I'm going to talk about Theon because Theon has become my favorite character. He has actually really become my favorite character. And the thing about Theon is, had I not watched the show, I wouldn't have known right away that he was Reek. Because, and I think it was A Feast for Crows or Clash of Kings, I can't remember which book it was. But when Reek was first introduced, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Theon is Reek. And then Reek dies, so when they're talking about Reek's character, for someone who hadn't seen the show, they probably would have thought they was reading from maybe a dead man's point of view. They probably would have been confused. But there were so many hints and clues that were dropped to let you know that Reek was Theon without telling you that Reek was Theon or Theon was Reek. So that was, I really would have enjoyed reading it a lot more and getting that effect when it finally became clear that Theon was Reek. So I kind of already knew where they were going with that. So, and the reason that he has become my favorite character is, like I said in my Jamie prediction video, is I love a character that can do some of the most horrible things. And I hate betrayers. I do not like turncoats at all. I don't like them. But, and they can go through something and they can really make you feel for them, because no man should have to endure what Theon has to endure. And you know there's going to be some kind of redemption arc for him, and I'm very excited to see what that redemption arc is going to be, how he's going to, you know, how he's going to become Theon again, how he's going to get his name back, who he's going to sacrifice himself for. It's like, that's what I am excited to see about Theon. He has really become my favorite character, and it was really hard in the show to watch what Ramsay did to Sansa and to have Theon have to watch it. But it was even worse what Ramsay made Theon do to Jane Poole. That was the worst. It was, at that point I was like, George R. Martin, you got issues, you got problems. Like, who thinks of this stuff? But that was something that was really hard to read. I can't stand I hate Ramsay. I do not like the Boltons at all. I like Roose more than Ramsay, of course, but I don't like the Boltons. I don't like them at all. I hate the Boltons. I can't wait to see what their demise is going to be in the book. And we know what it is in the show. I can't wait to see what it is going to be in the book. Another thing that was very cringy was Cersei's Walk of Atonement. It was hard. Her Walk of Atonement was very, very hard in the book. I mean, in the show, it was very, very hard to watch. It made you cry. But in the books, it was so much worse. And what made it worse was, as she's taking this Walk of Atonement in the show, all you hear is ding ding shame, ding ding shame, ding ding shame. That's all you hear. But in the book, you read her thoughts. And how she was trying, it was so hard to read when she talked about, you know, how she was stepping in water, how she asked for sandals and they wouldn't even give her sandals, and how she was stepping in water but it probably wasn't water, and just dung and the rotten fruit and eggs that were being thrown at her, and how in her head she's trying to motivate herself in her head, like, I'm getting to my son. It doesn't matter what they say about me. Jamie said I was the most beautiful woman in the world. She was just always trying, she was just being so strong in her head, trying to encourage herself. And like I said, in the show you just hear shame, shame, but in the book you read her thoughts, what she's thinking. And in the show, she's such a great, Lena Headey is such a great, Headley is such a great actress that you can see when she starts to break. But it's different when you're in her head and you read when she starts to break. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so bad. This is so horrible. I actually cried. Like, I cried for Cersei Lannister. Like, what's wrong with me? Something else. And about Theon, I'm happy now that he's united with Yara, but I call her Yara because I saw the TV show first. I'm just used to saying Yara. But how he's united with his sister Asha. I thought that was very beautiful that they were able to come together and unite. But I want to know how he got there. So I can't wait for Winds of Winter. Hopefully they'll go back and give some backstory about how he made it to her. And let's see, Davos didn't have many chapters, but I like where his storyline's going. I like how his storyline took that turn, because you like, these are real big Lannister supporters and Frey supporters. So I think I can't remember his name, but the really big fat lord, and the women there and the woman there. you just pretty much know that he's dead, that Davos is dead. I'm like, man, Davos is like hand of the king to Jon Snow in the show, so how are they gonna kill Davos? But I was so happy to see that they weren't going to kill him, that they actually were upset about, you know, his son being killed at the Red Wedding, and how he's sending him on this quest to get Rickon, to find Rickon. But where they say Rickon is like Cannibal County. So when it was like it has unicorns there, and Rickon's probably like insane, crazy, because you know he was with the dire wolf. Him and the dire wolf both were really feral, and so you can just imagine how he is now in Cannibal County. It's like, wow. But let's see. One thing that I'm interested in knowing is what happened with Brienne and Stoneheart and how she got to Jaime. Stuff like that, it really bothers me, because I'm like, we have to wait for an entire book to know what happened, and you should have just put it in the book and then let Jaime and Brienne unite in the next book. But at least don't skip that time, you know. So now we got to go back, and we're probably going to get, it's probably going to be the same thing with Winds of Winter. Is like you feel like you're going back and you're reading A Dance with Dragons, but it's actually just the same things happening leading up from a different character's point of view. And I'm like, just put that character in the book and give their point of view there, so we'll kind of know how you get to that point. Because I'd rather know how Brienne got to Jaime than just knowing like, hey lady, what's wrong with your face? Yeah, I got bit. Follow me. What? Like, that was very disappointing. I didn't like that at all, but I was glad that they united. But I'm more interested in knowing, I guess that's good writing. That's the way to keep people holding on and wanting more. Is not give them too much, make them wonder about certain things. So I mean, I get it, that's good writing, that's good marketing. Don't give everyone everything up front. But I'm not gonna say I'm happy with it, but I want to know what that word was. Like, what could she have said? Because she was to the point that she was gonna die for Jaime. What else could you have said? She couldn't have said, you know, yeah, I kill him. Because Stoneheart's like, no, you said all this time you wasn't gonna kill him. Why should I trust you now? And I just want to know what the one word was, and how, and if she just let Brienne go, or if Pod was with her. I don't remember reading about Podrick, Jaime seeing Podrick with her. He wouldn't know who Podrick was, but I don't remember reading anyone a young squire being with her. I don't remember that. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me, because like I said, it's a long book and I could be forgetting some things. But I just want to know what the one word was. That's all I want to know. That's why I went into A Dance with Dragons, hoping that eventually they'll say what the one word was. But I gotta wait like another year, another book, before I find out what the one word was. But you know, it had to be like a really powerful word, a really convincing word for Stoneheart to just let her down. Let's see. Tyrion. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna talk about Tyrion next. Tyrion, I like Tyrion, but I don't like Tyrion as much as everyone else does. I mean, he's like the fan favorite next to, you know, Jon Snow, Tyrion, and Daenerys. They're all fan favorites in the TV show. They seem to be fan favorites in the books as well. I wasn't too crazy about Tyrion. What I like about Tyrion is with Tyrion and Barristan Selmy, you are going to get a lot of lore and history from them, because Tyrion reads all the time. Barristan, he knows a lot of the history, and he's been hand of the king for 3 kings. He's a little up there in age, so he knows a lot. You get a lot of history and lore from Tyrion and Barristan Selmy. So that's what I look forward to more than anything with Tyrion's chapters. Now I'm looking forward to a history lesson in Tyrion's chapters. Tyrion is funny as usual. He's witty, he's smart. He was a little boring for me. Nothing really big happened with Tyrion, not in my eyes. I mean, I did enjoy realizing that young Griff, it was actually Aegon Targaryen. I did like seeing that. I also like seeing him being brought like low to the ground. And out of all people that to run into, you run into the door from Joffrey's wedding. Like, how does that happen? She's upset with Tyrion because her brother was killed because there's a bounty on Tyrion's head. So men out there just killing doors, and that made me wonder if the one that they bought, and she was like, he still has his nose. I wonder if that was her brother. I can't remember what his name was, but her name was Penny. So there was a part of me that was hoping that Tyrion was gonna find Tysha, and he was gonna find his wife. And I know I just said I wanted him to kind of get with Penny or whatever, but I did. There was like a little part of me, the little romantic in me, was like, well, because he kept saying, where do whores go? Where do whores go? And I'm like, well, maybe he'll find her. So when he went into the brothel, I'm like, he's gonna find Tysha. He's gonna find Tysha. But then he, like, kind of, what he did to the brothel worker, we're gonna call them workers, what he did to the brothel worker was like, nah, this is not Tyrion. Maybe not really like him for a moment, but I'm not a big Tyrion fan like everyone else is, like I said. So his story was okay. Now Barristan Selmy, I love his point of view. I love, and I'm so glad that he's still alive, because he's dead in the show. I'm like, why did the show kill him off? And they killed him off using a stupid Son of the Harpy. They killed him off like off screen. They didn't even show his death. Like, really? But why did you kill him off? He's such an amazing character, and just hearing his love story for, I can't remember, is it Ashara Dane? I can't remember her name. I think it's Ashara Dane. I can't remember. I know her last name was Dane. And just saying how she ended up committing suicide, and if he would have won, if he would have won the tourney, then he could have given her the flower, made her the queen of love and beauty, and he's wondering if if he would have been with her, if that would have happened. And it was just like so hard to read it, and so heart-wrenching to read that he had a love of his life, but because of honor he couldn't be with her. And so I really enjoyed Barristan Selmy. Barristan Selmy is one of the smartest ones in the series to me. He makes really good choices, and he's loyal, and I really love Barristan Selmy. So when he dies off, I know they're going to kill him off more than likely in the book. When he dies in the book, I really will be upset, because I'm really enjoying his point of views. Let's see. Next, since we're talking about Barristan Selmy, let's stay in Meereen. Quentyn Martell. I love, and now I get it. I didn't understand why so many people were upset about the Dorne storyline in the show. But the Dorne storyline, oh my God, in the books is amazing. And Quentyn Martell, I love that. And I truly believe what Barristan Selmy told him when he said, he came too late. If she would have known that she had a suitor in Westeros, then she would have, that's what she would have been going towards. That's one step closer for her to get to the Iron Throne, because Dorne is loyal, because their Elia Martell was, their queen was actually killed, by the Lannisters as well, by the Mountain and her children and everything. Well, her daughter, I don't know who the little boy was. But, yeah, I really enjoyed Quentyn's storyline. I thoroughly enjoyed Quentyn's storyline. And I knew he was going to die. When he went in there with those dragons, I knew Quentyn was like a goner. I knew he was a goner. But it still was so hard. Oh my God, it was so hard to read in his mind, to hear his thoughts when he was burning, when he first realized he was on fire. That was hard. And his death was hard. It was really, really hard. Let's see. Marine. Dany. Let's talk about Dany. I don't know if you know from my Fame of Thrones videos, I'm not a really big Dany supporter either. But in the book, she just, I like her better in the books, but I'm not a big Dany character at all. I'm just gonna I'm gonna skip all Marine stuff because I hate that she's still in Marine. Why aren't you in Westeros already? Why? It's like painful. It's so painful that she's still in Marine. But I guess she's gonna be able to have children now, because I thought that was awesome. Which I knew she was gonna ride Drogon because I saw the TV show, so I knew she was gonna end up riding him. But that was amazing how she just jumped on his back, how she rode him, and that's what I love about the books. You can their point of view, you can see their point of view, hear their thoughts, and I love that about the books. That's something that is so much better, that makes the book so much better than the show. So she flies off and she's trying to get back to Marine, trying to get back home. And I get it, you got people there, but girl, work on getting to Westeros. But I understand she wants to go and get her people, and she has to get an army. So I don't know why I said that, but she has to get an army before she goes back to Westeros. Before she goes to Westeros. And so she goes here, she's hungry, she's thin. So she sees this one, Dothraki, I can never say it. She sees this one Dothraki, riding the horse and kind of like looking at Drogon, and he rides back. So she calls him, she gets on his back, she flies over them or whatever. They ended up eating the horse, and then she ends up eating these berries, and the berries like make her sick, and she starts having a period. It's like she's like a really, really heavy period. She couldn't remember the last time she's had one. So I'm wondering, is that foreshadowing that now she's been able to now she's gonna be able to have children? Or I don't think it's a miscarriage. I think that she's having her period because she's eventually going to get pregnant, like in the show, by Jon Snow, if it works out the same way. So I think that that's what's going to happen there. Varys came back and killed Kevin Lannister. That wasn't seen. That wasn't seen. Yeah, in the epilogue, Varys ended up coming back. And so I'm wondering, I've seen a lot of things that the Aegon Targaryen, or the young Griff, he is not the real Aegon Targaryen. He's actually a Blackfyre. And Varys is trying to get Blackfyres on the throne. So I don't know. I'm interested in seeing how that's going to play out. But, yeah, Varys is back. So I'm wondering what he's going to do now, or what Cersei's going to do for him, because he can't just come out and open like that. Like, did you just come out to kill Kevin, or are you going back to hiding? Where are you, where have you been? What have you been doing this entire time? Like, I really would like to know, Varys. Jon Snow's dead. I knew that because in the show, but in the books it was kind of like you knew they were upset about what he was doing, but in the books it was kind of like it didn't happen. It didn't play out the same way, and it was like he's getting ready to go to Winterfell. He reads I think they're calling it the Pink Letter. He reads the Pink Letter to them, and he sees that Ramsay, you're asking for Stannis' wife, Stannis' daughter, the red witch, red queen, or you the red woman. You're asking for all of them, and I get it. Maybe to them it's treason because he says, that they're supposed to stay out of the affairs of, kings and queens. But how is that not protect? It's like you're breaking. I guess I can see it. You let the wildlings in, and it's like now you're breaking your vows because you're getting involved in something, and that's not for the wall. And even though he didn't ask the wall to go with him, it's like you're kind of deserting. So I can see how it ended up being treason, but it was just like a shock. It was a shock. I knew it was coming because of the show, but it was just when it did happen, it was like, whoa. And I kind of liked the way it happened in the books more than I liked the way it happened in the show, because it was more realistic. Then it was like you had no idea, like you're getting ready to leave, but in the show it's like when you saw that traitor there, like you should have known. And in the show at least he did, and in the book at least he did fight back. But that was my review for George R.R. Martin's A Dance with Dragons, and I'll be doing more Fan of Thrones videos. It will be 7 or 8 p.m. I'm gonna shoot for 8 p.m. every Sunday. So remember, guys, to like this channel, subscribe to this channel. If you want to see more videos, getting Fate of Thrones videos, let me know in the comment section what you want to see, what you liked or didn't like about the book. If this has convinced you to want to read the book, if you are a show only watcher, just let me know what you think, and I love to hear from you guys. And as usual, toodaloo, bye bye.